It's the time to get down.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're going to try to do now is make this call to Africa, because our good friend Meredith Beale, who's been in Africa on a Gates Foundation fellowship, has been actually coordinating the infrastructure throughout the continent. Hello? Oh, let's see if I get throughout the continent of Africa.
Right.
And he's really planning. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, hello.
All right, dude, you're on the air.
All right. Greetings, Dr. Stereo. What's up?
Greetings back to you, my brother. Is everything all right?
Okay, Meredith, I was telling them, too, a little bit about what you were doing, that Meredith, first of all, is a very unique individual, lasting value. One of the brothers who actually had a good, really good footprint in radio. Mm-hmm. Rural Texas really was the man in radio, who's now been doing a bunch of things. Meredith is also known because he did the sound system and did a lot of things at the early Motown studios. He is a computer whiz, the early days at Dell. He's a very conscious brother, locked like me. And he's over in Kenya, and he's been over there in a Gates Foundation grant, and actually, like I told everybody, setting up and improving the infrastructure throughout the continent and really looking to bringing those things our way. Mm-hmm. Because we have to figure out what to do with it.
Right.
What to do with it. So, Meredith, tell them a little bit about what you're doing and what's up.
Okay, well, again, thank you for taking some time to share with me. I miss you guys deeply, but also looking forward to you coming over here to my stomping ground and seeing what's up on this side. But I've been here almost 2 years now on a program that was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to improve the media management skills on the continent. So it covers radio, TV, print, mobile, and the intent is to create more sustainable, high-quality media. And most of my programs have been around mentoring some of the CEOs of media organizations here with business plans, marketing plans, technological adaptation, particularly with the print media that's looking for new revenue streams from being able, for example, to digitize some of their archives. And then some of the other projects that we've been doing that are kind of cutting edge have to do with this open data movement and the movement towards data journalism, that is using some of this massive amount of information that's out there to either help tell better stories or to give you the trail of money if you're looking for, if you're doing an investigative journalism story or something like that. But in that light, Kenya is one of the first African countries that's made a massive amount of its data available. And that's everything from health information, what's going on in the schools. Basically, there's a lot of data out there, but it is incumbent on us now to figure out how we can use that information to either create revenue streams out of new ideas or to do deeper coverage that helps to empower the population. Some of the examples, like the Guardian newspaper in the UK, has been publishing for 100 years. So they have 100 years of 365 recipes.
Wow.
It doesn't make any sense to try to make a giant cookbook. But all that information is sitting in their archives, and they're through with it. So they say, hey, let's put out there the stuff that we know, and if somebody can think of something to do with it, let's split the money.
Wow.
So some clever young man came up with this mobile application where you can go in your pantry or your refrigerator and say, I have 3 onions and 5 heads of cabbage,
Yeah, I know
and 2
about
carrots, or whatever. You put all the ingredients you have in your pantry,
Right.
and it hits on the database from the Guardian newspaper's archive of recipes, and then it comes back with here's 7 recipes you can fix with what you have in your kitchen. So from the standpoint of the Guardian, that information has been used and just sitting there in the corner, but now it's been liberated, and every time somebody uses that mobile app, the Guardian and that young man splits the money.
Now,
So kind of a clever way to do stuff.
see, if you guys notice, too, these are things that have been around. Let me remind some people who don't know Meredith. Meredith Beale and I have worked together for a long time. When we did the initial live stream test,
Wow.
Meredith was the one who was coordinating. He even was running the show later on from I think from in Austin. So we've been doing the live stream broadcast, those things together and experimenting together from the beginning. One of the things that we attempt to do is to think of ways, attempt to come up with ways to monetize existing things. Now remember, all of these are experiments.
Right.
They all are experiments.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. You know, we're always dealing with areas where we can't prove things because he and I, we're the ones trying to pioneer it. So, but you can see he's trying to show all the brothers in the continent how they can take this existing content, many of which goes way, way back, and find another market, perhaps over here.
I have a question for Meredith.
Okay.
Meredith, I'd be interested to find out, how arm in arm the continent is with the digitalization of the continent, and most specifically, if there are any international copyright laws that are being observed on the continent.
Well, he wrote a treatment on it. Meredith, did you hear that?
Yes. Yeah, I heard what he said.
Okay, so can you...
Yes. So, to answer your question, was two parts of the question. One, are there copyright laws in place and enforced?
Right.
They're on the books, and it varies from country to country how well it's enforced.
Right.
Kenya is maybe a little more stringent than some when it comes to music. For example, the taxi drivers that are running around, they have to have a sticker in the same way that you have to have a sticker saying you have insurance to prove that you have insurance. So when you get
Gotcha.
pulled over, you know you have your liability and your registration.
Right.
Here, they also have to have a sticker that says that they paid their license for the copyright on the radio in the taxi, which is a bit far from me.
And the government seems to be making its way arm in arm with you in that regard?
So they're regulating that. But at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, in terms of film, any DVD that comes out in the U.S. is here on the streets within 2 days. So when Django came out in your theaters, 2 days later, we could buy it in the street for $1 or $2 a DVD.
That speaks volumes to my question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So you know, I don't know how they're making money, on the film.
Right.
But they seem to be cracking down on the music release here, and it varies again from country to country. Rwanda, come next door. Kagame is very organized and is very disciplined over there. So there's more enforcement and more management of those types of things. And the first part of your question was what?
I just wondered how the government is in arm with the effort that you're making within the continent.
Okay, yeah. In terms of digitalization, it's on and cracking because two things driving it. One is the analog to digital migration, the TV migration that we went through back in the U.S. in 2009. And so the rest of the world has to follow suit. And all countries in the world, except for a couple of exceptions, by 2015 must have converted from analog to digital broadcasting.
Right.
So that's opening up a lot of opportunities, but it's also tremendous challenges in executing that. Because even in the United States, which has budget and a bunch of people who know stuff, we had to move the date 3 times for various reasons. And in a lot of these other countries that may not have as many resources financially or as much technical know-how, struggle in different ways. But even South Africa, who has a bunch of money and a bunch of technical folks, they're having some difficulty getting that implemented. And indeed, Japan and Australia and UK, nearly everywhere else, it was a daunting task for anybody except for maybe China. And China only could do it easily because they could just tell everybody what to do. And they had budget. Most of these other countries, including the U.S., where we had to coordinate between the FCC and the TV owners and the set-top box manufacturers. And so there was a lot of coordination and give and take and negotiation between all of those various stakeholders in order to get to the finish line.
Yeah, I guess what I was wondering.
It's just, they just say, hey, you do this, you do that, and everybody's in line. But nearly every other country had trouble doing it.
One of the things I was specifically wondering is there a satellite that's being talked about by the government that's going to be able to make the whole continent accessible from one facility, like Westar 7 is in the Pacific Rim.
I'm loving this.
It's probably going to be two satellites because of the depth of the size of the continent. But yeah, there's that going. I mean, there's a lot of coordination between the African Telecommunications Union, who was, kind of working with, that arm of the ITU in bringing the cable, the fiber optic cable that's come over here both on the west coast of Africa and then I think 2 spots on the east coast. Even though, and I think the same phenomena here as in somewhere like Japan, where most people who are accessing the internet for the first time are doing so on a phone and not on a laptop or desktop.
Isn't that
TV.
something?
That's right.
Isn't that something? Isn't that?
So that's in Asia, everywhere else. So the mobile explosion is driving most people to access the internet for the first time on their phones.
Right.
So whether it's doing email as well as Facebook and Twitter, here it's getting cheaper and cheaper. Even the smartphones, and somebody in a rural area,
Well,
even some of the farmers where you might think not think that they could afford a smartphone, turns out to be actually more cost effective. For example, if they're in an area where it's 50, 60, maybe 100 miles to the nearest agricultural regional office, and say that they're looking at one of their plants and there's a spot on the plant and they don't know what it is.
Right.
So in the old days, they would have to cut off a piece of that plant, take off a day at work or more, drive to wherever that place is, get it analyzed, which might take a day or two, and come back with a solution.
Right.
Now they can take a picture of it, email the picture or text the picture to the regional lab and get an answer within a day. But the biggest thing that's changing the game here in Africa with mobile is mobile money. The fact that how, like in the U.S., people send money home to Mexico or to Asia or wherever via Western Union. This cell phone company here has been the world pioneer in something called M-Pesa, which is being able to use your mobile phone to send money to somebody. Or if you're in the grocery store, you can pay for your groceries with your phone, or you can pay your electric bill or your child's school fee. And last November, in Kenya alone, Safaricom, the company that pioneered this mobile money, did more financial transactions in 1 month in Kenya than Western Union did worldwide.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's starting to disrupt the banks, which the banks need to be disrupted.
hey, all right, well,
Now the banks are scrambling for customers. 'Cause why would you go mess with a bank now? How to keep your money when you got to have a phone anyway? You can deposit money onto your phone, go to almost any corner store, and withdraw money out of your phone account.
Meredith, we're going to have to get you back on the show because we're going to move forward. But I want to tell everybody this is again Meredith Beale coming to us live from Kenya. I think you're in Nairobi right now, right? Where are you?
Yes.
He's in Nairobi, so he's coming to us. So I want to remind everybody we're going to be updating you about the Africa connection, about the efforts that we are making as an organization to educate and inform and encourage. Remember, this is my buddy. He's bringing it this way, and when he brings it this way, we're supposed to be thinking of what to do with it.
That's exactly right.
What to do with the stuff, you guys. That's the whole point. Is we're the ones, believe it or not, who are going to be thinking of what to do with this. So everybody throw in your suggestions. Be part of this revolution. Meredith, we will get back to you.
Stay blessed, man.
Yes, thank you. Remember, too, Meredith, I don't know if you heard, Nokia's been announcing their $20 smartphone. So that may be one of the ones that's headed your way.
To Kenya. Mac wants to know what percentage.
There's a bunch of folks doing stuff. So all you brothers back home, brothers and sisters, think up some shit and make it happen because the door is open and there's 1 billion people over here.
I hear you.
There's a whole nother market.
That's love.
Meredith Field, everybody. Meredith, we'll get back to you. I'll call you, buddy. I'll call you later on. Peace.